Cowboys. I am Jeff Cavanaugh, alongside my co-host, former Cowboys wide receiver, and a wonderful human being, the great Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Jesse, how are we today, my friend?
Today's good. It's Friday. Life is lit. It's payday for me at school, so can't beat that.
Oh, well.
What was that song? Who was it? It was can't think of the name now. Friday night, just got paid. Money in my pocket, feeling right. Johnny Kemp. That's it. Johnny Kemp.
I believe you. I 100% believe you.
Always show looks sweet. Yeah.
All right, hey, we made Cowboy preview the Cowboy. You know, it's been a long time since I've been a professional broadcaster, so these days it's tough. Jesse's now the quarterback of shows, not me. But we may preview the Cowboys and Bengals a little bit. But first, I think our starting point today is going to have to be welcome to the blame game.
Yes.
First, shout out to our guys at BetOnline. The fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Mike McCarthy is the favorite in the NFL as the first head coach to get fired this year, so shout out to that. They got you all hooked up at BetOnline. Every single sport. They're the top online resource for all your sports information, live in-game betting, props, futures. Head on over there to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV50. To receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. Blame game, baby. We're one game into the season, and we're already pointing fingers. Jesse, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Listen, as long as nobody blames me, I'm good.
Mike McCarthy today, multiple different things. One, quote, let's be honest, in Kellen's time as a coordinator, he's been able to play very, very aggressive. But we're in a phase right now that we've got to be a little smarter in certain situations. That's all part of growing as a play caller. First of all, the fact that your play caller is still growing shouldn't be acceptable for the most valuable franchise in sports. You should always have one who's one of the best on planet Earth. Just like Jason Garrett should have never been allowed to learn on the job. You should have hired whoever you thought the best head coach in the world was. And then after that, they were talking about individual routes, like option routes. And McCarthy was like, yeah, I don't really do that. I'm not into that. And so McCarthy is distancing himself from the Cowboys' offensive failures of week one.
Yes.
And here we go.
And in addition to, Jerry Jones came out was asked about CeeDee and Lamb and about being the number one receiver. Jerry Jones says, CeeDee, he has to figure it out. He has to know how to, get open in double coverage. This is what happens to the number one wide receiver. He better know what to do. So not only do you have, fingers being pointed, we have already pointed the finger at Mike McCarthy coming into this season. He's already been a dead man walking. Now Mike McCarthy's come out and said, which is pretty much shows that you're toast. Because now you're just talking about, hey, I'm going to really be stepping in there and really helping Kellen Moore out. Well, what happened the last 3 years? Well, why weren't you there helping him out then? Why would you even allow him to have that position? Again, if he's learning on the job and you're an experienced offensive play caller, you should have stepped in and said, hey, this kid can learn under me, but he won't be over me in play calling. And so everyone now is just like, hey, it ain't me, but the narrative is being set up. You see it coming. The narrative is now being set up that someone – And I remember famously Jerry Jones, the day he fired Wade and he walked into the team meeting room and he was very, very clear. He said, when things go to hell, he said, or to someone has to pay the price for it. And now what they're doing is they're setting up the narrative.
They're jockeying for position of who takes the fall.
Who takes the fall? Because someone's, Jerry's going to say, well, maybe we hired the wrong guy. And then Mike's going to say, well, they gave the kid the job. And then when the questions come about, they're going to say, well, Jerry, you were the one who gave CeeDee Lamb number 88. He wanted to wear number 2. You thrusted him into this position of being the number one receiver, and you got rid of a number one receiver, what you should know, that in the offense that you guys are running, it is predicated. It is absolutely predicated, mandatory, necessary unequivocally has to have a number one receiver that is able to win on his routes and get open in order for it to be successful. If you do see, this is not like the other offenses where you can kind of move and have guys, this offense, which dates back all the way to the early 1990s, is predicated on your Michael Irvins. It's predicated on your Des Bryant's, your Miles Austin's, your definitive Amari Cooper, definitive number one receiver being able to make the plays to get open so that everyone else around them can eat. And now you're facing a situation where your number one may not be as good. And I always feel bad saying this because being a number two in the National Football League still puts you in the 1% of 1%. But being number one,
that'll get you 12 years in the league and $100 million.
Right. But being number one is a different beast. And people have to understand that just because a guy was drafted in the first round or had success at a university, when you come into this league where everybody is elite, you got to be able to know who can be your number one.
Yeah, and I actually kind of support my guy Mike here, kind of taking up for himself, because I don't know how many people realize this, but like, it is a Cowboys thing that you could be hired as the head coach and you're told who's coordinating your offense.
Yep.
Wade Phillips didn't get to pick his OC. Mike McCarthy getting hired, he was told his OC. So if you think when I'm getting dogpiled that eventually I won't be like, well, look, it ain't mine.
Right.
Like I get it. Everybody hates me, but it ain't mine. Jerry Jones picked another golden boy. And if his golden boy doesn't run a good offense, like, I'm not allowed to take over. Our arrangement was he's the OC. Now, I do wonder, is there a point where you get so desperate that you say, I don't care what the arrangement was when I was hired. I am the head coach. I am going to call the plays. And if you fire me today for it, so be it. But I'm going to try it because I want to save this. And I know I'm on the way out. Like, I wonder if that even crosses his mind.
Yeah.
To just be like, no, look, this is my job. I'm going to lose it. Vegas says I'm getting fired. So you going to fire me for making a move that I told you I wouldn't make? Because I'm trying to save me.
That's what Jason Garrett was trying to do, right? On his way out, he was like, you know what? Yeah, let me go ahead, and if I'm gonna go, let me go on my own sword. Like, I'm not gonna let him kick the chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me kick the chair of my own self. So if I'm Mike, I mean, I'll start that. I just don't understand how he allowed that with someone coming in with that much. I mean, you couldn't have wanted the job that bad where you just like, yeah, whatever, sure,
Cool. He was out of the league.
Yeah, but you made enough money where you could just sit tight and something would, like, we all know that this is a retread league. Eventually, he would have gotten an opportunity to go out there and coach football again. And I get it. The Cowboys are a big name. You bring this team success, you bring this organization success, then that skyrockets your career to levels beyond the stratosphere. But come on, man. Like, you got to have some nuts and some kahunas to be like, no, like, this is what I do. Like, I've built my legacy on being the play caller of an offense.
I mean, I think my guy wanted a job because not only did an offensive head coach take a job where, I mean, I'm not breaking this news via source. I'm just telling you that this is per me, that Mike McCarthy was hired and told who was going to run the offense. Like, you were hired to be a head coach and it ain't your offense. And he had to know coming in. He had to. But the way he's handled press conferences so far tells me he underestimated how annoying it was going to be to answer questions. And then 15 minutes later, Jerry Jones answers questions that you were trying to hide or be coy about, where it's like, well, I'm not going to give people the game plan. And then Jerry does 10 minutes later. Like, I can hear it from him where, like, he has a good attitude about it. I like Mike at press conferences. I think he's funny. But he not only accepted a head coaching job where he couldn't do exactly what he wanted, he underestimated how much he was going to be annoyed by the entire thing.
You know what? And honestly, I can say this as someone who's been around the league, played for two different teams. Um, I played for the Bengals and I played for the Patriots. This is a different beast. Like, think about all of the success that the Patriots have had. And you've only heard about really Robert Kraft. He was getting a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But like, he's not on the radio. He's not doing like he don't talk post game. He don't talk pre game. He's not on the radio 2 times a week. Like, not like he is like, who the owner is because it's Robert Kraft and they win so much, or you knew that the Brown family because of how they came into the league, but you didn't see or hear from those guys. And for Mike, I don't think now that's the one thing I will say. I don't think he realized just how much of a circus this place is when you're.
And that's his fault. That's his fault because you got plenty of resources in the league you could talk to about how this job goes.
So like, all right. So like, there's been times where we've been like, hey man, like, hey, don't talk to that girl. She's kind of crazy, man. But you're like, oh, she's really cute though. Like, you're like, I know, but like, I'm telling you, man, my homeboy used to date her before. And then you're like, oh, whatever. And then you get involved and you're like, holy
damn.
Holy, they're really right. Like, like I was horny and I maybe, she had a nice body. And so, but this broad is a lunatic. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes even when you hear the information, you sometimes don't really know until you're sitting in the seat. And I think he's realized, you know what? And honestly, Mike might be to the point right now. He's like, you know what? Hell, fire me, please. Like, fire me, give me the rest of this money so I can go on and find a new situation, because I have realized, like, I think he realizes this is an issue. I got to hear about Sean. I got to hear about Sean Payton. I got to hear about Dan Quinn wanting my job. I got to hear about, I say one thing 1 minute, you come right back 10 minutes later and say something completely different. I can't run my own offense. I don't know what the hell to do because I'm not a stand around coach. So now you just have me out here like we look bad. I lost my court. There's so much going on. Like, sometimes you just want like hit the eject button to get me up out of here.
And he did it. I think today was his first kind of shot fired or frustration where he did it in a kind of smart way, where he didn't sound mad. He wasn't really pointing a finger. He was just like, yeah, this is just an offense. It's not really anything I've ever done. Option routes take time and we can't block. And like, he's laying out all the reasons that the plans of what they're doing, he doesn't think are great. And it's like, but wait, you're the head coach. And he's like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
And yeah. And
my title. He's like, yeah, we can't block. Philbin. We got this offense, Kellen Moore and these guys. This is their stuff. I'm here. This is their stuff. They just happen to put me here, but I want nothing to do with this stuff anymore.
Super chat. Shout out to Will. He said, I must not be watching the Lord of the Rings show closely because I have no idea which elves are Mike, Jerry, and CD. I don't know if I forgot to change a title or something, or if that's just a wonderful reference to the Rings of Power show, which is lovely. I love all the nerd things. Next thing on the docket today, Jesse Holly. What do you got on the green dots?
Well, I got 1 dot, 2 dot, green dot, who dot.
Who dat?
And a lot of people aren't,
Who dat? Who day?
Yeah, a lot of people are not talking about this. I think this is a huge, huge piece that we're getting ready to miss in this game with the absence of Jaron Kearse. With the absence of Jaron Kearse, you and I both know Jaron Kearse, a year ago, they gave the green dot. The green dot is the guy who the Dan Quinn speaks to. He gets the calls. He's like the quarterback of the defense. Well, that used to be Micah Parsons. In most teams, it's your middle linebacker. But they had Micah Parsons doing so much and so young, they said, you know what? Let's remove a responsibility from Micah Parsons and just let him go play football. Now, it's turned out to be really, really good in his favor. But the green dot has to go to somebody. Now, that green dot went to Jaron Kearse, who came in and from nothing has become a prominent leader on this football team. And you're without him this weekend. And now
I have a guess at the green dot.
Now the green dot goes to.
My guess would be Van Der Esch. And I knew that would be the reaction too, because you're not going to give it to Anthony Barr. He's been here 2 weeks. you're not going to give it to, are you going to give it to Donovan Wilson? Are you going to give it to put it on Micah Parsons, who's really pass rushing more than he's playing linebacker? Like, I feel like my green dot guy has to be at least at linebacker depth or further back for most of the time to move people around. Parsons is on the edge a bunch. I think Van Der Esch is going to wear the green dot.
And now what you just said and how you just presented it presents the problem, because this is the guy who's got to get everybody lined up. This is the guy who has the responsibility to get everybody lined up, get the play call in, get the checks in, right? And so all this stuff is happening at warp speed. And at times, since he can kind of speed you up a little bit. So now if it's going to be Leighton Van Der Esch, I don't know how much of a, of an assertive person he is. Can he get the calls in? Can he get the guys lined up? Can he get the checks to everybody? Because when you get the checks, you got to get checks not only the linebackers and guys in front of you, but those back end guys got to get the checks as well. So that's a small piece in a puzzle that plays a major role, especially when this defense is going to be the driving force of your three units in this football game. I don't think you're going to get much on offense. Maybe you can create something on special teams, but this defense is going to be the reason. If you win this football game, it's going to be the reason. And that's why, like, a lot of people aren't talking about it, but that green dot has a significant role in what's happening on the defensive side, getting the calls in, getting the checks in, getting guys lined up.
If the green dots are Cooper Rush and Leighton Van Der Esch, is that like if this were like set up like an NBA Jam game, is that where you get two people on the court? Is that the worst? Is that the worst green dot combo in the league?
It might be. It might be the worst green dot combo by a country mile in the entire National Football League.
Ken Art in the super chat. Hello, guys. I feel the head coach search was a joke. Do you guys think Josh Rosen on the Browns practice squad would be an interesting, potentially salvageable backup QB project? Go watch the tape. I thought Rosen was going to be a good NFL quarterback, and I think at some point, like 2 or 3 tries into it, when you've tried in multiple different scenarios with different teams and it looks like you just can't play a lick, you just got to go, my bad, I was wrong. I thought Josh Rosen could play in the NFL. And I mean, I think me and pretty much everyone in the NFL is looking at it and going, nope, dude can't play. First round, top half of the first round, right? And now practice squad guy.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
And to James Andy's point, doesn't the guy that wears the dot have to play all the snaps? Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And I believe they have 2 helmets with a dot on it. So if somebody who has the dot comes off, you can, I don't know. It's weird because you'd have to run that helmet. I don't know.
Right. So that now becomes the situation. This is the guy who has to play all the snaps. So whether that, and this is the thing, are you in big nickel? Are you in dime? How you're going to play with, and if it's not Leighton Van Der Esch and it is, what's the safety? I just draw a blank.
Donovan Wilson or Malik Hooker?
Donovan Wilson or Malik Hooker. Again, a very, very integral part of the defense that a lot of people are not talking about with the absence of Jaron Kearse. Yes, his covering ability, his size, his athleticism, his leadership, his physicality. But that green dot, 1 dot, 2 dot, green dot, 2 dot.
The note you sent me about coordinate game. What is this? Coordinators, coordination? What are we doing?
So, like, coming into this game, we can talk about players all we want. We can talk about the quarterback. We can talk about Trayvon Diggs. We can talk about offensive linemen. To me, this is a coordinator's football game. This is the game where coordinators have to go out there, Dan Quinn, Kellen Moore. This is the game that you have to earn your scratch. This is the game that you really have to go out there and earn your check. These are the type of games where you really make your hay in this league. Like I say about guys like Patrick Mahomes. Like, Patrick Mahomes doesn't make $500 million to make all of the plays. Patrick Mahomes makes $500 million to make the one more play than Josh Allen makes in a playoff game, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes gets paid $500 million to make the scramble, sidearm, weave through 3 people, go-ahead touchdown play. Like, that's why you pay him that money. And so for this game, this is the game where you don't have your quarterback. You were an absolute S show last week offensively, played well defensively, but now you have to come up with a scheme to face another high-powered offense with some dogs at receiver, dogs,
Dog.
and a dog at quarterback. Okay, but also create a plan that potentially, if I'm Dan Quinn, you have to create two plans. If I'm Dan Quinn has to create an aggressive plan to really get after Joe Burrow and see if you can't make him speed him up and make him throw the ball to you, but also make a plan that says, hey, we're probably gonna be on the field a lot. Like, we're probably going to be in the 35, 40-minute range in between there of time of possession being on the field. And how can I put together a scheme or a plan that gets guys as fresh as I possibly can when we get to the fourth quarter? And then on the other side, Kellen Moore, you now have to put together a plan, figure out a way to, I guess, run the ball effectively, to keep your boy Cooper Rush ahead of the sticks, and get some rhythm, find a way. I don't know how you're going to do it, but to give these receivers an opportunity, if they can get open, to find a way to get something going. And that's why I said that this is a coordinator's game. When the chips are stacked against you, this is where you make your hay, to me, and become one of the quote unquote best in the league.
And people can read between the lines. So the McCarthy presser today, eyes are on you, Kellen. Mike McCarthy's going to be hovering yeah, go ahead. Let's see if we have a bad game. See who I talk about. Lucky Clay said, sign Antonio Brown, Jimmy G, if you really want it. They ain't saving this season. Dirk, who are you and Jesse not friends with from the fan? Just kidding. Kinda. How many losses until you start scouting O-line for 2023? I have no comment on that question, and I don't want Antonio Brown or Jimmy G. So that's a couple of no comments for me. What up now? Jesse, would you want to pitch in?
Yeah, I mean, I got no beef. I just don't. I know beef. You just don't. As we say where I'm from, you just don't F with everybody. That's it. No beef with nobody. I just don't F with everybody.
I quit. I love everybody. Earning or stealing a check this week? Is this a guessing game?
Is this a guessing game?
With the text that you sent me, you said earning or stealing check this week.
No, that was going to the coaches.
Okay.
Are those guys going to earn a check this week, or are they going to steal a check this week?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to you if you're out there and you can steal a check. I think that's incredible on your part. Might not be the best reflection on your character, but the person you work for probably sucks. So if you're able to steal paychecks consistently, I salute you. And I want to hear from you. Give me a call. Let me know how you do it.
And how can I steal some checks?
So on the offensive one, I'm just going to ask the question. I'm not optimistic, okay? No, because no one is, and you can't be, and you shouldn't be. Cooper Rush in his game last year against the Vikings, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb went over 100 yards. Of course, you had both of them. But
by the way, it's been 9 games dating back to last year since Amari Cooper's had 100 yards. Since CeeDee Lamb has had a 100-yard game. I mean,
sweet. Thanks, Jesse.
Sorry.
Thanks a lot, Jesse.
Just put that out there. It's been a while since my man has seen touchdowns, seen a 100-yard game. It's been.
Oh, that means the Cooper Rush game was his last 100-yard game.
Yes.
Oh, we're right where we want to be, baby. Those two are vibing. That's so. It's weird because, in a way, if I were running an NFL team, I wouldn't want a highly drafted running back because I don't want to be pressured to hand the ball off because handing the ball off sucks. I'd rather have a no-name who they don't care about. And if you want to give me great looks, my no-name will be just fine. And we'll be able to run the ball. But that shouldn't work and wouldn't work over the long term at quarterback, where it's I don't have a good quarterback. So you're going to stack the box and I'm going to have great opportunities to throw. But it kind of happened for Cooper in his game against the Vikings, where it's oh man, you're going to give me a lot of opportunities and I'm going to get the ball to our best receivers. Confidence level 1 to 10 that Cooper Rush and that line and those receivers can take advantage if the Bengals know for a fact, look, you're running hitches and slants and you're handing the ball off.
I'm at a 2.
Oh, see, I was at least a 3. You are a hater.
Yeah, I am. I'm at a 2. Maybe someone slips and falls. That service can be slick at times.
Yeah,
I mean, and again, Eli Apple, like he got a little butter back to him. He got a little butter back, a little toast. And Eli Apple ain't the greatest of greats, and Cheeto ain't the greatest of greats. So it's not like I like their safeties. I like Von Bell, I like Jesse Bates. I do like those two. That's a really good combo. But Eli Apple gets cooked a lot, a lot. So let's not
for years.
For years, right? So let's not like Eli Apple can give you some, but then it goes back to when Eli Apple gives it to you. Will this line hold up? Will Cooper Rush see it and be able to elevate and make the throw? Same thing with Cheeto. Cheeto's going to give you some. We have to just be ready. Again, see, I would feel so much better if there was CD and Amari Cooper against Cheeto and Eli Apple. Because I'm like, I know for a fact that Amari Cooper, when we line up against Eli, he's going to beat him at the line of scrimmage. Like, his releases are going to work more often than not. That would give me so much confidence. But when I go CeeDee Lamb and whatever other name you want to list that is an eligible wide receiver, that doesn't give me the greatest confidence that Noah Brown's going to win at the line of scrimmage. I don't even know if Jalen Tolbert's going to play, or Dennis Houston, or Simi Fehoko, or even if you try to throw Kavante Turpin out there. I'm not sure that those guys are going to win more often than not at the line of scrimmage. And even like when you talk about the Minnesota game, there was a play that Amari Cooper was doubled, and it was a bad ball. He was run down the right sideline and kind of put the brakes on and came back and made a fantastic play for a huge gain. I don't know if they got that with the other guys. I don't know. I don't know if that's in the repertoire of those guys and the toolbox of those guys.
Well, it needs to be at least one of them, because I watched him do it at OU. Like, CeeDee Lamb was up plucking the ball over everybody you could find, and nobody could tackle him. Like, I need that guy. I need a team that's willing to push it down the field and give somebody an opportunity to go make that play. I need a lot of different things that I don't know that we're going to get any of them. Ruben in the super chat, appreciate you. And other than that, I'm ready to rock.
Where's my man at? Tool Worker. Shout out to you, brother. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I just saw it. Tool Worker. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Not to you. It's shout out to my girlfriend, Wilma.
Don't read that.
I won't do that. You won't get me. You won't get me. Because
you'll usually get me. You
almost got me. You got to be quicker than that. I'm no rookie here, brother. Yeah, I was trying to give you some love, but now, screw you.
Anything you put on that monitor, Ron Burgundy will read. You got to be careful.
Almost
got
me.
This presentation was brought to you by our friends at Bet Online. And unless you have anything else, Jesse, I'm going to tell people to remember that they have no idea what anybody's going through. So be cool to everybody. And that I love you.
Everybody, eliminate the contingencies. I love you.